Hey guys, how's it going? I am joined today by Josh, who is the creator of the upcoming tile game Zoo Tiles, and we're actually going to do sort of a walkthrough and play a game of this game that's up and coming. I'm pretty excited about it. So, if people don't know, if you want to introduce your sort of who you are and what this is.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Josh Bakken. I'm the creator designer of the game we're going to be playing tonight called Zoo Tiles Hime, and it's a strategic tile placement game that has some some similarities to TCG games. So I'm going to try it out with Colin and see how it goes.
Yeah, and as we go through this, if you want to check out, we actually did an interview a while back. There's actually 3 videos separated by different sections on this channel. If you guys want to go back and check those out, there's some really interesting discussions there. But and there'll also be links in the description below for different places you can pre-order the game as well. I've already pre-ordered it. Oh,
That's what it's
nice.
going to look.
Oh, and it's so
I don't think
nice
we
and
saw the
portable.
box last time we talked.
No, I don't think so either. That's cool to see a physically there.
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, if you want to sort of get us going here, we're on a tabletop simulator right now.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so we're just going to jump in. Usually when I'm at cons, it takes me roughly 8 minutes to teach it. So sometimes it takes a little bit more just because we're not in person, but it shouldn't take too long for people who are viewing. Just hang in there. This shouldn't be too painful. So Zoo Tiles is a game that's loosely based on the creatures of the Chinese zodiac. And so for those of who are not familiar with that, there are 12 creatures in the Chinese zodiac. But since we're a small company, we're not launching everything all at once. The package, there's a box that I showed here, is the what's called Starter Set 1, and that will be coming out October 27th. And what this will do is it will have 2 pre-constructed decks, and we're going to be playing those decks during this demo here. And the first deck is going to consist of rabbit, ram, and pig versus tiger, horse, and dog. And so that, like I said, those are 2 pre-constructed decks. That's all going to be, no matter what starter set box you get, they're all going to have the same same tiles, I should say, and everything. And then in March, we're going to be launching starter set 2, which will have the rest of the animals, which will be a dragon, snake, rooster deck versus an ox, rat, monkey deck. And so yeah, then you'll have all 12 animals. You can completely customize decks. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. And so what we're going to be playing again tonight is basically the decks that will come in the starter set that I just mentioned. So I'm going to jump in real quick, but I just wanted to give everyone that background. So yeah, jumping in real quick, what you'll see is 3 tiles here in the center, and these are what's called the basic creature tiles. Now, the object of Zoo Tiles is pretty simple. All you have to do is score 12 points. So that seems pretty easy. There are 2 primary ways to score points in Zoo Tiles Hime, and the first and most efficient way is to do what's called complete a square of compatible creatures. So what does that mean? Compatible creatures, completing a square, like what is that? That's like so foreign to like traditional TCG players. So if you don't, it's perfectly understandable if you don't get what I'm saying. But let's just jump into that and I'll explain it to you real fast. So let's first talk about the compatible part of the compatible square. And if you look real quick, let's jump over to this rabbit here. And what you'll see is at the top of the rabbit, you'll see an icon that has a gold ring around it. And that icon is the icon of this tile. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. A big icon, gold ring around it, that represents the rabbit icon. And what you'll also see are some smaller icons that are running up and down the sides of the tile. And those icons are the icons that are compatible with this rabbit. So I'll just run through these really quickly. So you can see the rabbit is compatible with the ox, other rabbits, rams, dogs, and pigs. And then if you go over here, let's just say the pig, you can see that this is the pig icon. It's got a gold ring around it, so that's the tile. That's the icon of this tile. And the pig is compatible with the rats, tigers, rabbits, dragons, oxen. I'm sorry, not oxen. Rams and pigs. And then if you go over to the ram, you will see the ram icon. And that this is the icon that belongs to this tile, and it is compatible with the rabbits, horses, rams, and pigs. And so far, is that okay, Colin?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I also like that it's pretty straightforward as far as the symbols, because it gives a lot more creative leeway for the art as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it was actually the physical tile was, gosh, I don't want to get us off track too much, but basically what I did, there was an original version of the game which was a smaller tile, and it just felt too cramped. So I actually expanded the physical tile size to be 70 millimeters by 70 millimeters, and that gave the art a lot more breathing room. And so when you guys have the actual tile in your hand, you should be able to appreciate that there's plenty of room for the actual art to shine, as well as get across the important things, the important pieces as far as the other icons and stuff. But that's great. So we talked about the icons and what's compatible with what. And so let's talk about the next part, which is compatible square. What is that? What's the square business? So I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these away, and I'm just going to run through a really quick, really easy scenario. So let's say that Colin and I are playing a game, and Colin starts off by placing a pig. And so the way the game starts is the person who is the youngest takes a tile with a strength and intelligence, and I'll get into that in a minute, and they just place it straight into the middle of the playing area. That's the first tile played. And then every subsequent tile needs to be placed in what's called an orthogonal position, or what I call a neighboring position. So that means, let's say that Colin started the game with placing this pig here, then hold on, I could place a tile here, 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 or here. So those are my options. Every subsequent tile to the first one played needs to be played in what's called a neighboring or orthogonal position. And so let's just say I do that. So Colin starts off with the pig. I place a rabbit here. And then let's say Colin's next move is here. And then my move is and then my last move is here. So if I put this here, what people might notice is that before there was a missing tile here, but when a tile is placed there, it does what's called completes a square. I don't know. Can you kind of see that? And does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Got it. So the person who is responsible for placing a tile in a way that completes a square has what's called completed a square. But what we need to do after a square is completed is to check to see if every tile in the square is compatible with their neighbor. And again, the neighbor is side by side. So let's run through that really fast and see if this is the case for this. So I'll start with the rabbit. So the rabbit here, is it compatible? I'll go from your top, so the top pig. So the rabbit, is it compatible with the pig at the top? Well, let's take a look. Does the rabbit have a pig icon? Yep, it sure does. And does the pig have the rabbit icon? Yep, it sure does. So those two are compatible. Now let's take a look at the ram that's next to it. Is the ram compatible with the pig? Yep, the ram has the pig icon, yep. And the pig has the ram icon. So those two are compatible. Is the ram compatible with the pig below it? Yes, it is, for the same reason of the pig to the side. And same thing, is the pig compatible with the rabbit? Yep, for the same reason that the other pig was compatible with the rabbit. So because I was the person responsible for completing a square of compatible creatures, what I would do is I would take all these tiles and I would remove them from the playing area, and I would put them in a point pile, and I would score 1 point for each tile removed this way. So I just scored 4 points there. If I can do that 3 times, I win the game. Now, it's a little bit more difficult than that, because now that Colin knows how to play the game a little bit, he wouldn't just set me up for something so simple. He would, be a little bit more strategic in his tile placement. So okay, there we go. Yeah. So you'd be a little bit more strategic in your tile placement than just kind of to set me up with that L shape with an empty spot that's compatible. So that right there is what's called completing a square of compatible creatures. The next thing I'll talk about is, and that right there is about 60% of the game, so it wasn't too bad. The next thing I'll talk about are these tiles off to the side. I will bring these into the center. And these tiles are called action tiles. You can see this. You can see this ram here. Okay, the ram tile, action tile. I'm sorry, it's called push. The rabbit leap is an action or a reaction tile, and then the final one is a reaction. And so, what does this mean? What does this have to do with anything? Well, while you're playing the game, you will draw certain tiles that allow you to do cool things and to kind of manipulate the board state. And those are primarily these tiles here called action tiles. So you'd have action tiles in your hand, and on your turn, you can do a couple of things. And one of them is to create an action stack or start an action stack. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is, let's say that Colin had this push in his hand, and it was his turn. And he was like, you know what? I want to use this push tile. And so what he would do is he would take it, and off to the side of the playing area, he would just set it down. And he would say, on my turn, I'm going to start this action, and I would like to play this push. And then I would go, oh, okay. Well, I would look into my hand, and I would say, oh, I wonder if I want to react to that. And so let's just say I had this tile here, this rabbit leap. It could be used as an action or a reaction. But let's just say I want to use it as a reaction. So then I would put that right on top. And then Colin would go back to Colin. Colin would have the opportunity to use any reactions of his own. Let's say he had this one here called It's Only a Bunny. And he would take that and he would put that right on top. And we would go back and forth this way until nobody wanted to add any more reactions to it. And what we would do is we would start from the very top reaction tile, do what it says to the best of our ability, and then discard it after we were done with it. So I would discard this one, and then we would work our way down until we got to the action that we wanted to actually do, the initial action that Colin actually wanted to do. And so, obviously, everyone here, for the most part, I believe, is probably TCG players. You can imagine that because of the reactions that happen prior to the action, that when you get to sometimes when you get to the action, it's not even able to be done. So then you would it would just fizzle and go into the discard pile. And so that right there is how action stacks work. And then the last piece, for the most part, is on how to score points. I mentioned at the beginning there were 2 ways to score points. The second way is to battle creatures. Well, wait, before I should go on to battling, Colin, did that make sense about the whole action stack and action-reaction stuff?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Especially, I think I'd mentioned last time, I liked it because it's a physical representation of how stacking worked in a Force of Will, where everyone plays down their cards that can be played at that sort of instant speed, and then it resolves backwards down to the last card. And so it's easy to understand, but I like that there's also that physical, like you're putting the tiles on top of each other so no one gets too confused as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing I was really trying to I wouldn't say fix, but make very simple, right? So like if you're playing with the younger a younger kid, or someone who's not super into like hardcore TCGs that have to like keep all that stack mechanism stuff in their brain. This is very, very simple, very straightforward. You're not going to have any arguments. You're not going to have to call judges over or anything like that. Like it should be pretty straightforward. Okay, cool. So the stack is good. And so, like I said, the last part is battling. So we'll talk about battling here. I'm going to pull some creatures back here, and let's say that I start this time, and I start with a rabbit, and then Colin is playing pigs, and he drops a pig here, and he sees an opening. And so we talked about the tiles and we talked about the icons. What we didn't talk about are these two stats at the bottom, strength and intelligence, STR and int. And that has to do with battling. So battling is very simple in Zoo Tiles. All you have to do is when a battle takes place is you compare the strength and intelligence values of the entities. And if one of them has both greater strength and intelligence, then it wins the battle. So say, for instance, so like in this instance, I played the rabbit, Colin dropped the pig, and he would go, you know what, I want my pig to battle your rabbit. And why he would want to do that is because he sees that the pig has a strength of 3 and an intelligence of 4, whereas my rabbit has a strength of 1 and intelligence of 3. So since the pig is stronger and smarter, then on paper anyway, this would be a battle that he might want to do. So how does a battle actually happen then? It's not just this simple. The way Colin would start a battle is he would take any tile in his hand. It could be anything. And he would take it and he would say, and he would take it and he would place it face down off to the side. And he would say, my pig wants to battle your rabbit. And then he would put this tile down face down. And again, it could be any tile from your hand. And what this does is it starts what's called a battle action stack, which is exactly the same thing as the action stack that we just talked about, except this is the action. And so I would have the opportunity to respond to that. So he would go, I want to start this battle, and he would put that down. And then I would maybe grab a tile. Maybe I'd have this in my hand, and I would put that face up, and I would say, I want to play this tile. And then Colin might have a reaction, and then I might have a reaction, and so on and so forth. We keep building up this stack. And then when neither of us want to add any more to it, we do exactly the same thing we did before. We work our way down, we do certain moves, depending on what the tile says, until we get to the actual battle action tile that started it all. And if the tiles are in neighboring positions next to each other, then the battle would happen. But say, for instance, I played Rabbit Leap. Maybe I leaped the rabbit over here. And then once we hit this actions tile, the pig would go in for the swipe or the bite, and the rabbit's not there anymore. So that battle would just fizzle. And so that is how, that's a very simplistic way of how a battle happens. Is that so far so good, Colin?
Yeah, and what happens to the tile you put face down at the end of it all?
That gets discarded.
Discarded.
So you basically have to burn a tile to start a battle.
And what's the battle happen? Well, you probably get into it. What happens if you win or lose a battle?
Right. So let's say that the pig beat the rabbit, Colin would take the rabbit and remove it from the playing area and put it in his point pile. And so that's the other way that you would score points.
Okay.
So I'll get into there's a little bit more sophistication to that. This is like very simple combat, but let's just say, let's make things a little bit more interesting. Let's say that this was the board state here, where I played had a rabbit and a ram next to each other, and Colin had a pig here. And for some reason, Colin still wanted to attack. So he attacked the rabbit. Now, because I control a tile that is neighboring the defender, I can basically add these stats together and create one entity. So, for instance, the pig would come in, it would have a 3/4 entity versus the two of these together, which would be a 5/5 entity. So I would actually win that battle, and I would take that pig and I would put it in my point pile. And so that could happen on my end if the ram was here, here, or here, because those are positions that are neighboring the defending tile. So battle pretty much happens around the defender. So let's just say, but let's just say this was a situation where Colin had a pig and a ram next, and they were both neighboring the rabbit. He could form one entity as well, and this would be overkill, but he could form a 7/6 entity to attack this rabbit, and he would win and if this is the state and there wasn't any action reaction shenanigans, he would beat the rabbit and take that tile and put it in the point pile. And so yeah, you can kind of see how that could get a little interesting. Let's say if I had my own, say if this was the situation, it would basically, you would still win that one because it would be a 7/6 versus a 5/5, and so you would win that. And if somebody has allies in the battle and they lose, the allies get removed as well and also taken as points. So is that pretty clear, or?
Yeah, I think my only question you answered at the very end there. So, yeah, I was trying to think. Yeah, that seems pretty clear to me.
Okay, cool. So last little things, and then we're ready to play. Just want to point out there are a few other little tiles. I want to show this one here. So this one you'll notice is not a creature tile, and it's not a action reaction. This is what's called an obstacle. You can kind of see the little brick pattern there. And obstacles can be placed into the battle, into the playing area. You can see it has a strength and intelligence value. And these are things that kind of get in the way and maybe have little powers associated with them, but they can't attack. These are only really for defense. So they can't attack and they can't be used as allies, but people can defend them if they want to. So that's one thing about the obstacles. And then there is there's another one. It's called an item, which works. Maybe this is it. Which works exactly like an obstacle. Yeah, here we go. Here's an item. Items are considered more like things, and obstacles are considered more like places. So that's really the only difference. But as far as being able to place them in the playing area, yeah, they both can be placed there. Neither of them can be used as attackers. Those are really just defense, and then anybody can defend them. So even if let's say for instance, this cage I played, and for some reason I wanted to break the cage, but Colin didn't want me to break the cage for some reason, he could actually defend the cage even though he doesn't control the cage. So let me think. I think with that, we're pretty much done. I think we're ready to jump into it. Only last question for you, Colin, is what deck do you feel more inclined to play? Are you more of a tiger, horse, dog person, or are you more a pig, ram, rabbit person? If it helps any, these decks are have about 50-50 win ratio against each other, so they're very well balanced. And these are fan favorites. If anyone's interested in why I chose these, I've been doing demos for Zoo Tiles for years at different conventions, and I bring all kinds of different decks. But these are the ones that people have the most, I would say, laugh the most, smile the most, have the most fun with. So that's the reason why these were chosen for the for starter set one.
Okay. I'm thinking the pig, ram, bunny one.
Got it. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is over here, I'm going to go ahead and take your tiger deck and bring it over here. And then I am going to, I'll set these up. I apologize for your viewers. It's going to take just a second while I get this set up here. There we go. All right. The thing I love about Tabletop Simulator is this grouping function.
Oh yeah.
So good. As far as being able to like grab everything and just move everything, that's so good. Okay, and then so what I'll do over here, I'll set this up for you too. So what you do is you take this, and I'm going to flip this. And another beautiful thing about Tabletop Simulator is all the cool features like shuffling. You know, that is awesome. So I'm going to shuffle these up a bunch. And then I'm going to cut these, or I'm going to split these into 5, because we start with, well, it's not start. The game has 5 stacks. So, and then split this into 2. And then, hold on, split this. All right, so you're all set, Colin. What you can go ahead and do is click on a stack and hit draw, and you can draw 5 tiles. They can be all from one stack or one from each stack or any combination you want. Just go ahead and draw 5 tiles in your hand. And then you don't have to choose this now, but on one side of those stack of 5 is going to be your discard pile, and the other side is going to be your point pile. And so I'm going to make my stack real quick, and then we'll be able to jump into it. So let me do that real fast. Shuffle these up. Split these into 5. Did you already draw?
Yes, I did.
Did you get at least one pig, ram, or rabbit?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you're good. All right. Looks like I'm good to go as well. Let me pull these over here. And I'm going to go ahead and draw mine. Let's see here. Draw. Okay, and I have a basic creature as well. All right, let's start this up. So Colin, just go ahead so you don't have to do anything. I know we talked before about writing down the list of things you can do on a turn, and I'll just say this for the sake of your viewers. So there are 5 things you can do on your turn. You can do any of these things, or you can do all of them, you can do none of them, you can do some of them, and you can do them in any order. And the things are, you can take 1 tile with a strength and intelligence value and place it in the playing area. You can start an action stack. You can start a second action stack. You can start a battle, and you can take 2 tiles from your hand and discard them to draw a new tile. And so those are the 5 things you can do on your turn. At the end of your turn, you draw 1 tile from any stack you want. And if you didn't do anything on your turn, if you didn't do any of the 5 actions I just mentioned, you have the option of drawing a second tile. And so that's pretty much Zoo Tiles in a nutshell. And so, yeah, we're ready to go. I don't know. Do you want me to pull punches and kind of talk you through it, or do you want to go like cutthroat out the gate?
Let's go cutthroat. Let's see what crazy stuff can happen.
So let me know though if you have any questions. But that's really it. That's pretty much the game. But yeah, go for it. Go ahead, take a tile if you want, and drop it right in the center. And are there any actions you want to do or anything like that?
No. So I just draw a tile?
You just draw a tile, and that's your turn. And now it's my turn. Let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to go ahead and drop a tile here. And I'm going to draw for my turn and pass the turn. So I played a horse right next to the ram. I feel pretty good about this because we're tied on strength, and I'm a little bit smarter than the ram. we'll see what happens.
So we're going to. What is this? I'm just trying to read it. Oh, okay. That is not useful yet. And yeah, so we're good to put that down. So, well, we'll end my turn there.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, I'm not supposed to pull any punches, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so, you know that I am playing a horse, tiger, dog deck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And so what I just did is I completed a square, but did I complete a compatible square? That's the question. So let's go ahead and check that. And so I'm going to start with the horse, and I'm going to go the route of the tiger. So is the horse and the tiger compatible? Yes, it is. You can see the horse has the tiger icon and the tiger has the horse icon. So those two are compatible. Next, I'm going to do a comparison between the tiger and the pig. Is the pig compatible with the tiger? Yeah, the tiger has the pig icon and the pig has the tiger icon. So those two are compatible. Is the pig compatible with the ram? Yeah, so we can see the ram icon on the pig, and we can see the pig icon on the ram. So those two are compatible. And then the last question is the ram and the horse compatible? And we see the ram has the horse icon and the horse has the ram icon. And since I was the person responsible for completing that compatible square, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, I'm going to group them, and I'm going to take them out of the playing area. I'm going to put them in my point pile. And I've just scored 4 points, even using some of Colin's tiles. And so that is my turn. I'm going to draw for the turn.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pass.
All right. So we'll do that. And we're just going to pass after that.
Okay.
Ooh, ooh. Okay.
I'm going to...
Cool.
I'm not going to go ahead and drop a dog there.
Okay.
And I'm going to draw and pass the turn.
Okay, so what we'll do... Do I have... Yeah. So we'll do that.
Okay.
Attach the pig to the rabbit. And... well, wait a sec. So we'll end my turn there. We'll draw a card.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm liking some of these tiles.
You like them?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. I think when we talked before, I think I might have mentioned that I have 196 tiles designed for the game, but I only use 34 in this starter set. So there's plenty of, if you like those tiles, there's plenty more to come for all the creatures and for the new creatures, and so yeah, there's lots of fun stuff coming. So I just played that tiger, and I'm going to draw for the turn and pass.
Okay, so we're going to... So 5, 8, and 5, 4, and 7. Well, that's no good.
It sounds to me like you're doing a little counting for a possible attack. I just want to reiterate that the battle happens around the defender. So if your rabbit was going to attack the dog, since the pig is not a neighbor to the dog, it can't participate in the battle. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Gotcha.
Only the tiles immediately around the defending tile can participate in the battle.
Okay. So we'll attach. Yeah. We'll put a rabbit down right there.
Okay.
Or yeah, because perfect. We'll just leave it at that. We'll pass turn.
Got it. Okay. So, just so you know, if I had a dog, I could complete that square. But I'm just gonna let you know I don't. But something to keep in mind. I don't know if you saw that, but these rabbits are compatible with dogs.
Yeah, my question actually was going to be, if you place a dog down, am I able to play an action in response to before you collect the tiles, or is that all one action?
So you're not able to respond. So let me back up a little bit. This whole starter set thing is just to get people familiar with the game. So there are different formats, if you will. There will be different formats. So the format that the game is first starting out with is just a casual format. So in this case, in the casual format, you wouldn't be able to interrupt me putting a tile there. In the competitive format, what I would do before I place a tile in a square, I would place it off to the side, and then you would be able to react to my potential placement of that tile.
Gotcha.
Right. So in competitive, yes, you would, but for this casual and just kind of learning the game, you're not going to be able to. And my reasoning behind this is because this game has a lot of strategic depth, so adults can absolutely play this and get and have a really fun time, playing against another adult, and that can get very, very complicated, very strategic. But if you're playing with a kid and every time they go to do something, like, they get all excited, you're playing with like a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old, they're like, oh, I'm going to complete a square. And then you like totally interrupt them every single time, that they try to do that. That could get a little frustrating. So
Gotcha.
For the casual players, you won't be able to interrupt completing a square, but competitive players will be able to do that.
Okay. And is moving one space, is that only vertically and horizontally?
Yes,
not
that's
diagonally?
correct.
Okay.
Right. So whenever a tile is placed into the playing area, it creates new spaces. So there are no spaces in zoo tiles other than the spaces that are created when a tile is placed. So for instance, before this rabbit was placed, there wasn't technically a space here or here. There were spaces around these tiles, but when this rabbit was placed here, a new space was created here and a new space was created here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
The spaces are created as tiles are laid. So you can't just do something like place something over here. There's no space over there. You have to put it next to. And the only reason why you can put it there is because that's a space that was created when this pig was in play, right? This space here. Right. That's why you put the rabbit. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So that's okay. So you place that, and I am going to. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Yeah, I'm gonna try and block it. I'm just trying to figure out which tile to use to block it. You know what? I'm gonna use this tile to block it, I think. Yep. And so what I did is I completed a square. We would do a check real quick, but I can tell you right now that the horse and the rabbits are not compatible. So even though I completed a square, I did not complete a compatible square. So that square is going to stay in play. And so that's my play, and then I'm going to draw and end my turn.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. Oh wait, so the horse. Okay, horse is not compatible with rabbit. I see. Well, we'll play. Wow. Trying to see if there's something cool I can do here. Yeah. Okay. Here's what we'll do. We're gonna put a ram down here.
Okay.
We're gonna play a action.
Okay.
We're gonna play waddle to move a pig over one space.
Okay, just a second. Let me see if I want to react to that.
That's right, it's gonna be.
Actually, yes, I do want to react to that. I'm going to play a loud bark. Do you want to react to my loud bark?
Neighboring a doggo. Or
Right. So basically what I'm doing before your pig moves is I'm playing this tile called Loud Bark. What I'm going to do is I'm barking at this rabbit, and the rabbit has to move into an empty space. But if it can't move into an empty space, then I capture it. And it just so happens that your rabbit has nowhere to go. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to capture that rabbit before your pig moves. But if you have a tile that allows that rabbit to do something like, leap away or, I don't know, something else, you can play that first, and then the rabbit will be gone before my bark happens.
And control of it is just relevant for battling, right?
Control is basically, it's relevant for, it'll say on certain tiles, like the dog you control, and really control just means if it's facing you. So that's the easy way to tell who's controlling what.
Okay. That's fine. I won't react to that.
Okay, no reaction to that. So I'm going to make you move your rabbit, but your rabbit has nowhere to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take your rabbit, and I'm going to put it in my point pile. And then the loud bark happens. The loud bark happens, and it gets put into my discard pile. And now your waddle happens, and you can waddle wherever you want it. You can actually have more places to waddle.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm going to waddle over to right here. And
so the waddle goes into your discard.
Oh, yeah. And do I want to do that, or... that's fine. Okay, yeah, we'll end my turn there.
Okay.
Draw a card.
Let's see here. Oh, hold on a second. Huh. Well. I'm in a tough bind because anywhere I drop a tile, for the most part, like if I complete 3/4 of a square, you can fill it in with your tile. You can potentially fill it in with one of your tiles. So I'm trying to figure that out here. I think this is maybe no. All right. Well, I don't want to hold up the game too much. I am going to. You know what? You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop this tiger here.
Okay.
And that's my turn. And I will draw in my turn.
So I will, because I can't. Yeah, we'll put down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
And then we will. Oh, hey, buddy. I think that's all I can do, so on my turn there.
So I am going to. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this horse here, and we'll do it. Horse is compatible with the tiger. Tiger is compatible with the dog. Dog is compatible with the tiger. Tiger is compatible with the horse. So I'm gonna grab those bad boys, and I'm gonna drag them over to my point pile, and then I'm going to draw. And pass turn.
Okay. So, 1, 2, 3. What we'll do is we're going to put a pig right here.
Yep.
Then we're going to start. We'll start an action.
Yep.
We'll play a rabbit leap.
Absolutely. Let me see. Do I want to? I don't have any reaction for that.
Okay, so we'll move 3 to the. Does that work?
That works perfectly.
Okay.
Hey, you're on the board. All right.
I did it.
Yeah.
Well, what's the button to group the cards?
So just it just kind of there you go. You got them.
Or
To group them.
Put them
basically,
in
I right click and there's a group option.
Cool. Whoops.
Yeah. You can just grab it and hold it for a second. When you there you go.
Okay, it's all coming back to me. All right, then we'll end my turn there.
Cool. Quick question for you. How long did you have that pig in your hand? Was that something you just drew, or did you have it for a while?
I just top decked the pig, yeah.
Okay. Because you saw that when I had that tiger diagonal, if you had a pig, you could have dropped it in there, right?
Yeah, I saw that there was I think that was or maybe I didn't see it.
Okay.
I saw something 2 turns ago, but I didn't draw any creatures.
That's totally fine. Yeah, I was just just wanted to point out that if you did have a pig, you could have swiped my little guide there. But okay, let's see. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna go ahead and place a tile here, and then I'm going to start a battle, and I am going to flip this around, and my horse is going to battle. It's going to go over to a rabbit hole and stomp on it. And so, do you have any reactions that you would like to play before that happens?
No. Yeah, no.
Okay, so the horse goes over, fills in the rabbit hole, and so one thing I didn't say before is if a obstacle or an item gets captured or destroyed, it does not get put in the point pile. It just gets discarded. So Go ahead and discard your rabbit hole, and I will discard the battle action tile that I used for that battle. And the reason why I did that is because rabbit holes are extraordinarily powerful. So I wanted to get rid of that while I could. They're very good for rabbits. Let's see. And we'll draw. And your turn.
Okay. What I think I'm going to do actually is not take any actions this turn and draw 2 at the end.
Sounds good. You can do that.
Cool.
And then on my turn, I'm going to go ahead and play a tiger here. And then I'm going to draw. And I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay. Not much I can do about that.
You know, I will say that you were off to a rough start there, right out the gate. You know, the 4 point.
Yeah, well, it was sort of habit from always seeing the L shape of you showing me. So I was like, okay, and then this goes here. And then I was like, oh wait, that's right. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah, we'll put a little pig there.
Okay. Now you completed a square, but if we do the check, you will find that the pig is not compatible with the horse.
Correct.
So
yeah.
that square stays in play.
And we're actually just going to pass turn after that.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. And actually, I am just going to pass the turn. I'm going to draw two tiles. One there and one there.
All right.
And yep.
I'm going to play an action.
Okay.
Omnivorous to discard a neighboring tile to my pig.
Yep. And hold on a second. Let me see if I want to react to that. I cannot react to that. So choose your victim.
We'll discard the horse.
Okay. And so the horse gets discarded.
And we will put a little bunny rabbit here.
Okay.
And I think that lines up.
You are sneaky. All right. I see you now. Okay. Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's legit. So let's. Well, okay. No, I was going to do the for the viewers, but it's okay. Just go ahead and grab it.
Okay.
There we go. So what is that? 8 to 9, I think.
I did something. All right. We'll end my turn there.
Nice. Nice board sweeper. It's 8-9, so that's a close game. I was worried, I was like, oh dear, am I gonna like? But to be honest with you, I'm not trying to pull any punches. I don't. I shouldn't say this, but I haven't drawn any creatures, so I've got a handful full of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's
So
why I skipped that turn to try and draw into more creatures, because, I was hitting a dry spell for a bit.
yeah, and to be completely honest, I still don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this turn to draw two. And for everyone out there, there's no hand limit, so feel free to fill your hand to your heart's content. But yeah, I drew and I'll pass.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and put down a pig.
Okay.
See what my pets were doing, and then we'll draw a card.
Okay, I will put I'll go ahead and put a doggo, and I will draw one. And pass turn.
Okay. So they knocked down the light. That's fine. We'll play down. Hopefully, that's not too loud in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not useful right now. So we'll just put down a ram here and then pass turn.
All right. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop This is tough. I want to drop a tiger here, but I know. But if you have another pig, you could win the game. So I got to be very careful with what I do here. Actually, I'm gonna put that back, and I'm going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this tile here. I'm dropping an item. This item is a wooden horse with a strength of 7 and an intelligence of 5. So again, these can't attack, but it's got a cool little power that as an action, I can replace it with a wooden horse. I can replace a wooden horse with a horse. I might have it, I might not, but it's a pretty cool little placeholder. And with that, I'm going to end my turn and draw a tile.
Okay. So I'm going to do the ability of discarding 2 to draw 1.
Oh, okay.
I gotta zoom out a little bit more. Discard 1. That's useful. So we'll discard 2. Then we'll draw 1. Interesting. So you're compatible with that, and you are not. So we'll put a ram right here.
Okay.
And pass turn.
All right. Well, let's see here. I'm gonna check your point pile for just a second here. I want to see what.
Hey.
All right, that's fine. Okay. Let's see here. Well, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and play this action here.
Oh.
So, oops. So this action is called Golden Bone, and basically allows me to get a free point, more or less. It's a little risky of a move, but I know you're not playing dogs or dragons, so it's less risky for that. So I'm going to play this action. Is there any reaction you would like to do?
No, that's good.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and my dog found a golden bone, so which is worth 1 point. So I'm going to put that in my point pile, and it's 10 to 8. And let's see what else if there's anything else I want to do here. I'm going to go ahead and I might regret this, but hold on a second. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and place a second. Actually, no, I can't do that. I gotta stop that. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. I'm going to play another action. This will be my second action. I'm going to play Silly Accident. And your ram, this one right here, this one right here.
Yeah.
That ram is going to have a silly accident. And it discard a creature in play with an int 3 or less. And so it is got a 2, so it's out of here.
Okay.
And then that's all my action. So that gets discarded. And then yeah. This is so tough. You know what? I'm just gonna drop this. Actually, hold on a second. I'm gonna drop this tiger here, and I'm gonna end my turn.
Okay. We will. Yeah. We'll put down a ram right here.
Okay, all right.
And then end my turn.
You're coming in hot with all the creatures. I gotta figure something out. Let's see here. All right, hold on a second here. Let me think. I'm gonna have to do. I don't have any options, or I'm gonna lose. I think so. I'm gonna have to put this dog here, and then I'm gonna play this action here. I don't think it'll win me the game, but it might get me closer. So what I'm trying to attempt to do is this tile is called Elementary. I add together all the intelligence values of all the dogs I control. I'll divide this by 6 to find X. And that's how many Elementary is worth, and I will put that into my point pot. I believe that'll give me 1 point.
Okay.
So if I add the ints together, it's 6. If I divide by 6, that's 1. So that gives me 1 point. Would you like to react to my attempt to do that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'm getting there. I've got 11 points, and that's all I can do.
All
so,
right. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to play an action. We're going to play push.
Yeah, I do not have a reaction for that.
Okay. We're going to push this ram over 1 space.
Okay, so go ahead and move all the tiles next to it over one side. There you go. Yep. Yep.
And that goes to discard. And then we'll play down a rabbit there.
And then we will do the check for the folks at home. It'll check out because pig, rabbit, and rams are all compatible with each other. But that's it. I think you got to 12.
Woo.
Come from behind. Nice
Yeah.
job. Nice job. It was a close game, too. I was at 11 points.
Yeah, no, that I thought for a second there, I thought that card was going to give you 2 points because I didn't know what their intelligence was at. But yeah, that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be at the beginning.
Yeah, well, that's a really cool thing. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I got to say that I've seen games where, someone's come out to a really strong start. I've seen 11-0 games turn around and the person that had 0 come back and win, because you can totally, as you probably experienced, you can totally get a dry spell of creatures. Yeah. And so, you're drawing from the wrong stack, and, that can really kind of mess you up. So, yeah. So, yeah, congratulations on winning your very first game of Zoo Tile.
Woo.
I don't want to put you on the spot to say if you liked it, but you can do that, on another video or something. But I had a good time.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It took me I liked it. It was simple enough that you saw probably it took me a couple turns, and then I sort of figured out like, okay, I want to sort of look for this and all that, and already starting to look at like, oh, what if I do this? And I really like the things like what I did at the end there, like trying to do like pseudo combo stuff. I was super sad when you got rid of my rabbit there when it was stuck in between the tiles, because I was about to scoot some stuff over and then scoot another tile over to try and like I was going to be super proud if I pulled that up. But no, it was fun.
Cool. I don't know how much time you have or if you want to play another game, but we can if you want. If not, that's totally fine too.
Unfortunately, I got to go do something. I have an appointment here in a little bit, but I definitely be down to play this again sometime, because that was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. Just want to point out a few things before we go, just in case people have questions. So one question might be, are you going to be able to make your own decks, like customize your own decks? Yes, like I mentioned, these are pre-constructed, but you will have as much freedom to create a deck as I can possibly give you. One thing you might notice for people who decide to get the game, I'm trying to see if I have a, let's see here. Let's see here. I'm trying to. There are some tiles that. Let me see if I can find one. There are some tiles that have a number at the very end of them. I'm just trying to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. So if we look at this tile, I'll pull this out here. Extinction. So what are the deck construction rules? That's basically what I'm trying to get at. The deck construction rules are you can make any kind of deck you want. There's no minimum. There's no maximum. What you can, the only rule that there is if you were able to close up, if you do a close up on the extinction, Colin, you'll see a number in brackets at the very end of this description, and that has a 1 in brackets. So instead of making a blanket statement as far as like, you can't have, you can only have 3 of one tile or 5 of, or you can only have 3 of a certain tile, and just kind of make that blanket statement across the whole game. What I've done is kind of gone tile by tile and kind of said, oh, well, this one's super, pretty powerful, so you can only have 1 of them in your deck. So to see how many you can have in your deck, you can just take a look at this. If there's not a number there, you can have as many as you want. You can have 1 million in your deck. So yeah, it's a lot of freedom to make any kind of decks that you might want to do. You can make solo creature decks, or you can make multi-creature decks. Lots of people have made viable decks, and so yeah, with just like 1 creature, and that's worked out well for them. So anyway, I just wanted to address that real fast in case people were curious about deck construction rules.
Yeah. No, so you can go with the flavor and have like a deck of just a bunch of bunnies in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, there's some tiles in there. There's one called Rabbit Habit, where if you put two rabbits next to each other, if two rabbits are next to each other, you can immediately search your. You can draw 3 tiles and immediately put any rabbits that you draw into play, and you can kind of see how that might be pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I could go on and on about like deck construction and game balance, but I know you said you have somewhere to go, but we can always talk again some other time.
Oh yeah, for sure. But thanks for coming on and doing that. That's I'm hoping people really like that because is get to learn how to play the game and get to see gameplay all in one go, which is pretty nice, and sort of shows how relatively easy the game is to pick up. The fact that it's all pretty much most. I think we covered quite a bit on that and going through cards and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like I said, also I'll remind people that in the description below, there's 2 different sites to pre-order. Do you want to real quick let them know what the difference is between the 2 different sites for pre-ordering?
Yeah. So, yeah, anyone watching this, and if you've made it this far, thank you very much. That's awesome. Totally appreciate the support. If you'd like to get a pre-order, there should be 2 links in the description. The first link is, I believe, would be www.zoohime.com, and that's through Game Castle Online. And that way you can get the base game by itself for the lowest price you will find for it. It's the pre-order price. I think it's $23.96, and that'll get you the base game for the lowest price you can get it. And that's really the only, again, that's a pre-order price. So the game is scheduled to launch October 27th, and once that day hits, then everything goes back to full retail. So the game's going to retail for $29.95. And then the other link will be for our good friends over at Foundry Game Room, or Wizardry Foundry. They have a deal where you can get the game and you can get 2 packs of sleeves for $29.95. So that's a pretty good deal because the sleeves we're making, so they're sleeves specifically for this game, and they're going to be a little pricey on the open market because I didn't get a bunch made. So the economies of scale thing, if you don't get a lot made, then they're more expensive to make. So I only got I think 2,000 packs. So the price was a little high. But if you get it during this pre-order time, you can get 2 packs of sleeves. They're different colors. One of them is going to be white. The other one's going to be purple. So you could say official sleeves, 2 packs of official sleeves, and the game for $29.95. So I would say that one's the best value if you're into the value thing. But if you just want the lowest price in the game, then the Zoohime link will take you there. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, and hopefully see you again soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks so much. I had a lot of fun.
Me too.